Why, hello again. Yes. Okay. I did this thing called Comedy Slow Jams. Now, Comedy Slow Jams is a concept comedy show that a couple of friends of mine here in the Albuquerque comedy scene, Danger Cavaros, and Kendra. I'm Kendra Brand and Danger have been doing shows together, promoting and producing stuff, as well as doing their own stuff. I'm not sure who's. I really don't know who to give credit for the idea for this show, but it's a good show. It's comedy with a band behind you, and because Danger has a band that does, I guess, 80s cover. I'm not sure. I guess 80s covers and stuff. They're called Lady Romeo. It's shit. Get that work the way you can, and hell yeah, if you like playing 80s music and you're primarily a really funny motherfucker, that's a good night off to just come and go play the stuff, be in a cover band and play, I don't know if they do original songs or not. Right now I'm really too busy to do stuff that isn't comedy related or poetry related, which makes being here really awesome because I got to do Comedy Slow Jams, which was fun. Every time I have done poetry with musicians, the first time it was so rattling for me because I'm not even sure if I have a rhythm I follow. I mean, long-time listeners to me doing poetry could weigh in if you ask them if there's a rhythm that exists with the way I deliver stuff. But yeah, I was so thrown off by having musicians, which I do equate to more talented than me, because I can't play anything. I talk because this is what I'm good at, is the talking. So yeah, poetry, comedy, talking stuff, and any other talking stuff that I'm allowed to do. Anybody that'll let me make an ass of myself on stage. But you guys know that. So Comedy Slow Jams, they're doing slow jam. The premise was supposed to be sexual stuff. So I did this bit I have about dick pics primarily. I opened up with a couple of things. I forgot the one. My problem with my set that night was I forgot this thing that I wanted to use after my intro joke. I had an opener that I thought was bizarre and funny and just fucked off, about a hooker taking a dump on your chest. So I had that as my opener, and I had a follow-up to that was a throwback story from a friend of mine in OKC, and I don't even know if he's telling the joke anymore, but I give him credit for it, Matt Rainey, and I forgot the whole. That was supposed to be the bridge into doing I was either going to do a joke about dick pics or a joke about not having sex in a while with another person and then having sex again. And I did this weird, fucked off. I say fucked off because the notes that I like to hit in the chunk I just cherry picked out of an old bit about having sex with someone you really like having sex with when you've pretty much spent the last 2 years jerking off. You forget things about the other person that are involved. That was the premise. So I cherry picked something from that, and I didn't hit all the notes I liked in that, but I got to the dick pic bit, which was the other thing that, as I'm analyzing that set the night, I'd always had trouble doing poetry with musicians because I was fighting the rhythm in my head and the way I say things with the music going on in the background, because background music has always been nothing I've really paid attention to or tried not to pay attention to. It was just another thing to block out, like heckling or anything else. Just get through your stuff, especially on a slam stage or just in the way that as the way I think of performing is. That whole, there's a quote from Alice Cooper. He was talking about getting hit in the face with a pineapple upside down cake while he was doing one of his bits in the old days when he was doing his when Alice Cooper was the Marilyn Manson of of the 70s. And he talks about he goes, in vaudeville, there was just something with show business. No matter what happens on stage, it's supposed to happen there. So you never acknowledge that wasn't supposed to be right where it was. Or that wasn't part of the act. So in my back brain, in the crazy, I've been just going, okay, ignore that, because it just went into the plate of all the other stuff I'm ignoring when I'm on stage, or trying to slow down, or at least just mute the volume of a little bit with the voices, and just all the fucking over-analysis that my brain is doing constantly walking around, which is why the weed and the 2 or 3 pints helps. I only had 1 pint that night, so it's a little more, but Psychotic Diary. Do you get it now? For some reason, I slipped into the rhythm, the bass line, and I slipped into the rhythm of the band behind me, Danger's Band, and they were playing a nice, good, lo-fi jazz background. Yeah, I don't know. God, I can't describe it. But I can't describe it. I can't describe what exactly they sound like, because I was too concentrated on what, saying the next thing that's funny, that makes the laughter. But it was. I do remember like sliding into the pocket where I was my rhythm of delivery wasn't mine anymore. I was just flowing with the music. And for a white arrhythmic motherfucker like me, it felt good. And that is the kind of part I remember about that set that night, where I really started to feel like I was getting the feedback. Not only were they paying attention to me, but they were following me because they were laughing, and not just staring at me blankly like a dog that's been shown a card trick, which is a Bill Hicks quote I love using, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm as if you're a fan of this goddamn diary, you know how I go off on tangents that if you're not keeping up, you're gonna get lost. And I'm okay with, I'm okay with losing half of the audience's attention span because I got too bizarre. That's one of the things that I'm working on. That's part of the craft, is getting the tangents down and relatable. So if you're at least going to go on them, more people follow you on them, or at least that's the way I dissect what I'm doing on stage right now. I'm liking that I have enough backlog of crazy shit that I say on stage that I can cherry pick stuff that I'm like, this feels like it might work here tonight with this crowd energy, because I feed off the energy of the room, and that was a good room. It was a really good room. Kendra and Danger and everybody involved with the band did a great job of creating a good energy for that room. It was a fun show. I had a blast. But yeah, that's my that's my kind of dissection. It's weird. I would say weird, but I don't know. It's weird to talk about the way I think about performing and not sound like a superficial asshat that is way too into what he does. I hope what translated is me just trying to do an honest interpretation of what I'm thinking as I'm going up there. In that whole, I don't know, behind the music story, VH1 storytellers kind of behind the joke bullshit. I'm playing with this, the camera, and my dumbass crazy, and thinking that people actually want to hear about how you write jokes. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's one of the things I obsess over. So that was my take on comedy slow jams and how much fun it was, and I look forward to doing stuff like that again. I don't know if I would ever want to do like a song or like a performance with a band, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. We'll see what happens. So yeah, there would be another episode of the diary. Thank you for those of you that still find this fascinating. Thank you, and for those of you that are finding, yeah, shit's a coming.